In the next several days, a delegation of businessmen will be arriving in Kenya from India. And part of their agenda is to get into an agreement with local small-scale farmers to grow pulses for the Indian market. The Export Trading Group has been running a pilot for the project, working with a few selected farmers.
This year, being a year of the pulses as per the FAO and WFP, we are really looking forward to supporting the smallholder farmer, giving them access to market, and we have a very big project we're launching. It's a 5-year project aimed at empowering the smallholder farmer to grow pulses.
When you say pulses, what kind of crops are you talking about here when you talk of pulses?
When you talk about pulses, you're looking at all the groups of crops falling under the green mung, the black mung. Kenyans call them ndengu. Then we also talk about mbaazi. There are very many types.
Under this project, the farmers will grow pulses exclusively for export, since the local demand is so low that many farmers barely break even.
The local demand for pulses is not so big because Kenyans are both vegetarians and non-vegetarians, so
they eat a lot of meat.
And we eat a lot of meat, but generally is not more than 10,000 metric tons.
If you compare to the local market,
if I can compare to the local market, it's almost double, maybe 120 shillings minimum. Yeah.
And the local market is how much?
Local market goes up to 55 bob.
Kenya has been exporting to India for a few years now, but in small volumes. The demand has now risen to 1 million metric tons, meaning that the farmers under this program will be assisted with input in order to boost production to meet the market demand.
The Indian community, being vegetarian, they would like to have an alternative source to protein other than beef and the rest. So that's why I want to emphasize more on pigeon pea. As opposed to the rest, because yes, the rest have proteins, but not as rich.
Not as rich as the pigeon pea.
Yeah.
The market wants them dry or when they're still green?
The market wants them dry.
Dry.
Yeah.
Does it have issues with pesticide residue, the way other producers?
That's a very good observation. The reason why we're also very keen on the pulses and focusing on the small-scale farmer, these are very hardy crops. You can actually survive an entire season without applying any insecticide or fungicide. Even without fertilizer, you can still get a crop.
How many farmers will you bring into the project? Would you know
roughly in Machakos County alone, we are looking at engaging over 40,000 farmers, initially as part of the pilot project, but over and above, we are looking at bringing over 500,000 farmers on board.
There are hundreds of varieties of pulses that are grown all over the world, including popular varieties of all kinds of dried beans and even pigeon peas. Now, this here is a bean farm in Olosuyan in the county of Kajiado, which is one of the farms that have been earmarked for the pulses project. Pulses are loved all over the world because they offer an excellent and cheaper alternative to animal protein, but also they fetch much higher prices compared to cereals, thereby offering an excellent opportunity to lift rural farmers out of poverty. Zainab Wandati, NTV for Food Friday in the county of Kajiado.